Well, Xenoxis. I wonder if this will actually capture the sound from the game as well. Maybe it will, but there's a message of the 26th of February 2017. This is part 2 here. The first part is gonna actually go up today as well, with the old part as well. So yeah, so I'm gonna try and go over the thing I went over last time, except I've changed some things around there because I've been playing a bit more Hearthstone since last time, but I've played mostly World of Warcraft. Because, you know, I don't like the meta right now, you know. I really hate it how, you know, I think a lot of problem with the whole, you know, people who only use net decks and people who, you know, only plays the meta, you know. And the main problem is so many famous YouTubers, you know, so many skilled YouTubers who do videos and then they do review of cards saying this card is shit or whatever, you know, and that there's only so many decks that are possibly viable. Sure, you can play at the lower ranks with certain decks, you know, but certain decks aren't just viable. Like Zoo isn't really viable anymore. So there are still certain Zoo decks you can actually do pretty fun with, you know. The Zoo lock that I have here I can do pretty well with, you know. Sure, I'm missing a few cards, you know, from making it really good. Like I need another Darksire Librarian in the card that I need, and I also will need to craft or get the 2 Forbidden Rituals, because the 2 Forbidden Rituals works together with the Darkside Councilman. The thing that's going to be really interesting if you look, how do I check that? Do I need to, yeah, I need to be like this here to check it here. Let's actually check all the cards that's going to be disappear. Like Grand Tournament is going to disappear, right? Old Gods is not going to disappear, right? Grand Tournament is disappearing. And League of Explorers, Old Gods is not disappearing, right? I don't think Old Gods will be disappearing. So yeah, Warlocks are gonna lose the Dead Steel Fist of Xenoxis, Rat Guard, Demon Fuse, Fearsome Doom Guard. Tiny Knight of Evil if you had that, Dark Bargain, Void Crusher, Wilfred Fizzlebang. And for neutral cards you lose Gaddison, Jostin, Quali, Lowly Squire, Tournament Attendee, the Ardent Watchman, Bongal Lieutenant. Flame Juggler, losing that for Zoo type decks is pretty bad, you know. Garrison Commander, Lance Carrier, Ardent Horse Rider, losing that is also going to be a pretty big deal. Goddess of Manager, Dragonhawk Rider. I mean, you're not losing the card, you know, but yeah, it is Darkbane, Fencing Coats, Viola Lightbane, Ice Rager, Light Champion, Master of Summoners, Saboteur, Silent Knight, Silent Knight, you know, the song, you know, Silver-Handed Regent, Armored Warhorse, Crowd Favorite, Evil Heckler, Your Mom Smells Like a Leper Gnome, Frigid Snowball, Cormac the Impaler, Maiden on the Lake, Refreshment Vendor, Funnel Cakes, get your funnel cakes here! Tournament Medic, Twilight Guardian, Clockwork Knight, Qualdi Raider, Mukla Champion, Nexus Champions Rad, Pit Fighter Recruiter, Bolf Ramshield, Grand Crusader Justica, True Heart, Code Rider. I'm looking used at crafting here, so even the ones that I don't have show up, you know, which is why I didn't mention all the names. Mr. Gaster, Mogul's Champion, Sideshow, Spell Eater, The Skeleton Knight, Capsule Jormungar, Shilmaw, Sky Captain Crag, Ice Howl, Nazi Kraken, and Forest Giant. Like, sure, I went over the Warlock card, I didn't went over the other ones for the other classes, you know, but yeah. War is losing the sparring partner, the bolster, the bash. Losing the bash, I think, is the biggest steal out of those, kinda, you know. What is Shaman losing? Shaman is losing their Totem Golem, the Limits of Destruction, Tusker, Totemic, Tenabluff Valiant, so yeah. Rogue is losing Burgle. Like, yeah, unless you, like, gonna play wild. The main problem I have with Hearthstone is, you know, like, the time when I decided to disenchant a lot of cards and stuff that, like, it was at the time that I decided to do that, you know, disenchant a lot of my cards, you know, when a new expansion was coming out. Like, the first time cards disappeared from the game, or, like, those cards went into wild, then I like disenchanted like my goblins versus gnomes, called like all of them and stuff that, just so I would be able to craft more from the new thing. It was really bad, and at one point I did that in Classic as well, before they had the new changes and stuff that, you know, because I almost had all the cards, you know, all the cards from Classic I almost had, you know, and stuff that, you know, which was a bit bad to lose that, you know. I have an idea also for a text I want to be write about at some point, you know, because I have some idea for classes, you know, like what the monk could be like, you know, for Hearthstone, or what the Death Knight could be like, you know. I have some pretty good ideas, I think, for the monk, you know, that they would kind of have like a chi resource through them, you know, and that 5 points of chi would be max. 1 point of chi would be 2 mana basically, so each point of chi would be like 2 mana. So 1 chi 2 mana, 2 chi 4 mana, 3 chi 6 mana, 4 chi 8 mana, and then 5 chi 10 mana. And then there would be like certain, like you would mostly only have abilities, like you would have minions, but minions would be OBX literally, or spirits kinda, you know. So you would have different thing with oxes, basically. Like they would almost be like effigy or kind of like totems, kind of, that you would be able to place out. But and then there would be different kind of ox cards, which would be work as your minions. And these ox cards will all have taunt. And then there would be ones that would be, because it would be after the different, you know, the gods or the celestials. So it would be like the ox, the tiger, the like the white. And the white tiger, the ox, the black ox, or whatever. And then it's the kite, I think it's called, or I forgot what it's called, the crane thing, you know, or whatever, you know. But yeah, I forgot how many of them there are, but they would each have a function. Like the tiger could have like, the tiger could be like, it'll be like things that will boost up your attack or whatever, you know. And then one would have like spell damage maybe. And the ox would all be like taunt cards and stuff like that, you know. But it wouldn't be focused on minions, it would be focused on using abilities actually. So you would have like spinning crane kick and all sorts of kind of things. Then certain cards would have like a mana cost and a chi cost to them, so that you could play the card. You could like, for example, certain cards would have a mana cost and a chi cost, and certain ones they would show up in different colors. There would be like 2 colors to them, you know, like you could have like a blue, or you could have like a green chi cost and then a green mana cost. And in those cases, if you would pay the full chi cost, then you wouldn't have to pay any mana for the card. But then there would be ones that would be yellow, a yellow chi cost and a yellow mana cost. Those would require you to pay both the mana cost and the chi cost. And those things would be like, those things could be super powerful cards, because then literally playing something that would cost 10 mana and 5 chi would literally be comparable to something costing 20 mana in the base game. So that would mean then you could create like 20 cost cards with like insane stats on them. But then of course for a monk to gain that amount of chi would take a while. But then the main problem I have is, what would the hero power be like? I had thought that hero power would not cost mana, but hero power would cost chi. So you would sacrifice some of your chi to gain certain effects. And then I thought about like, why not have card draw? But then the main problem would be if you would have card draw. Yeah, for example, like I thought then that the 1 cost chi, because it is the same as the 2 cost, then it would draw 1 card just like the Warlock one does. But then for example it would get out of hand, like 2 chi, which is 4 mana cost, would draw 2 cards. 3 chi, which would be like 6 mana, that would draw like 3 cards. And then 4 chi would draw 4 cards. And then 5 chi would draw 5 cards. Right, yeah. So because like drawing 5 cards would be insanely powerful then, like even for 5 chi, you know, because then you could still spend mana after that, you know. And certain cards, for example, would maybe only be a mana cost and not be a chi cost as well, you know. But then I instead thought like, what instead of the power, if the power would be different depending on how much mana or how much chi you spend, so that the cheapest, when you spend 1 chi you maybe get 2 armor, or instead of armor maybe call it brew, you know, so you would gain 2 brew basically. And brew would work just like armor, but it would be a different symbol, you know, just to make it like look different, you know. It would be that it works the same as normal armor does, you know. So for one chi you would get like 2 brew, like basically 2 armor, and then for 2 chi you would draw a card for 2 chi basically, which would be like a 4 cost mana thing, you know. And then 3 chi would allow you to what should 3 chi do? 3 chi would allow you to heal, I think, you know, just like the priest power, you know, but maybe heal for more, like maybe heal for 3 or something like that, or 4 maybe even, because, you know, paying 3 chi is a lot more than paying, you know, than paying 2 mana, because like 1 chi is comparable to 2 mana, you know. And then 4 chi would allow you to equip a weapon, and then the weapons you would equip would actually be different, so that, for example, you would maybe be able to play certain ability cards that would make it so that the weapon you equip is stronger or whatever, you know, if you have used one of those cards, you know, like the weapon you equip gain blah 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 more attack or whatever, you know, when you finally equip a weapon, you know. And then the 5th and final thing will combine all the effects together, so you gain 2 brew, you would gain the 2 brew, you would be able to heal, you would get 2 cards, or the 2 cards would be the second thing, and then you would get the other 2 cards, and then you would equip a weapon. All those effects would be rolled into one basically for the 5 chi cost, you know. And that could be really good. And I thought about, okay, who should the monk hero be, you know? Obviously what people say is, oh, it should be Shen Stormstout, you know, and stuff that, like, so this is the basic thing to go, but wouldn't it be cool if they designed a panda to look like Chuck Norris, and then Chuck Norris would be the panda class? Because then you could not only have martial arts moves that's inspired by the monk class from in-game, but then you could also have a bunch of Chuck Norris moves and stuff that, you know. And it would be really cool then if they would hire Chuck Norris, you know, to do the voice acting and stuff. That would be pretty amazing. I think how hyped that would be, like the Monk class, you know, and then like voice acted by Chuck Norris, yeah. And then you could, you know, have Chuck Norris memes and stuff that, you know, being like when it's just like ratings, you know, like there could be a lot of like a bunch of Chuck Norris memes and stuff that. It could be pretty fucking cool. I haven't really had time to go over any of the decks, but yeah, I basically gotten rid of some of them that I don't think worth enough. I've been able to win a bit with the Surrogue, but not that much really, you know. The main problem with all the Sus is if you run into a Reno, you basically don't have any chance because you cannot deal enough damage, you know. The only thing that could kind of win against the Reno is the Su lock, just because of some of the damage they can do is pretty crazy with power overwhelming. But of course we're gonna lose power overwhelming as Su. You're also gonna be losing the Ardent Horse Rider, as I said, you know. But yeah. But anyway, that's actually gonna about to do it. And stuff, I'm just turning off Hearthstone here. Did I roll for a new quest, by the way? No, I did not. Let's see if I can get that. Oh. Instead of 40 gold one, I should have kept the other one. So I only got a rank 17 chest for this time. I still haven't been able to get like the same kind of high rank that I had gotten at one point, you know. There were a point when I actually managed to get past rank 10, you know, and stuff like that. But it was a pretty long time ago when I had like way more cards, you know, but yeah. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this time. I'm gonna probably record a bit more next week. But that's gonna do it for this time. I hope you all enjoyed this, and I'll see you all